Hello everybody, mega goal number 3, second day, 11 form, meaning function, pages 92 and 93. Now let's take a look at the objectives. Number 1, simple present. Number 2, simple present versus present progressive. Number 3, time expressions in the present. Number 4, conditional sentences. And number 5, I'd rather. يعني الأهداف راح نتكلم عن المضارع البسيط والفرق بينه وبين المضارع المستمر، بعض التعابير أو الدلالات الوقتية للدلالة على البريزنت، برضو الجمل الشرطية، وآخر شيء I'd rather. Okay, so this unit is called Going Green. Please move on to pages 92 and 93 and please follow up with me as I explain this lesson. So the first thing we will be discussing is the simple present اللي هي المضارع البسيط. طبعا this is something that you have studied previously. And this is just a matter of a revision، يعني فقط مراجعة. Now the simple present is used for things that are true in general or for facts. يعني نستخدم المضارع البسيط للأشياء اللي تكون دائما حقيقة أو بشكل عام دائما الحقيقة أو اللي دائما تكون صحيحة. For example, when I say the sun rises from the east، يعني هنا استخدمت simple present لأن all the time بإذن الله بمشيئة الله طبعا الشمس تشرق من الشرق. So this is what we mean by the simple present. As for the affirmative statement, okay, for example, and then the Saudi, for example, let's take a look here. The Saudi Riyal is the official currency of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. So here is, okay, came in the present tense. طبعا وانتم عارفين ان العملة للمملكة العربية السعودية هي الريال السعودي. This is something true in general، دائما صحيح. Okay, now let's take a look at this example. It takes 1 million years for a glass bottle to decompose. So here takes is in the simple present، يعني معنى الجملة ان تأخذ تأخذ 1,000,000 سنة علبة الزجاج عشان تتحلل. Okay, so here takes in the simple present. Okay, so which is for something which is used for something which is true in general. Okay, now طبعا انتو انا لازم اوضح لكم انه with the main verb, okay, as I've written here, the verb with the singular, the verb takes s. يعني الحين مثلا لما اكتب لكم it takes، الفعل هنا ياخذ s, but they take the plural without s. Okay, so just to draw your attention to this because this is something very important. So in the simple present, the main verb takes the s if the subject is singular. Okay, now let's move on to the negative statements. My parents do not read printed newspaper anymore. So here I use don't because يعني الأفعال المساعدة مع النيجاتيف أستخدم either do or does. طبعا أنتوا عارفين does مع المفرد والdo مع الجمع. فmy parents read, it will be my parents do not read. She doesn't speak English. طبعا هنا because it's singular أستخدم doesn't. طبعا الفعل هو she speaks. Okay, لكن if I want to make it negative I'm gonna say doesn't and then speak. هنا إيش بيصير في الإس I'm gonna delete it, so it's gonna be doesn't speak. Okay, يعني لما تدخل doesn't سواء في السؤال أو في النيجاتيف statement لازم يرجع الفعل لأصله لأنه ما يصلح يصير عندي زمنين من نفس النوع في الجملة. it's gonna be doesn't speak. Okay, so do you understand that? Okay, so right now just to draw your attention to these notes because they are very important. Okay, as for the singular nouns إذا كان الاسم أو subject singular subject the verb takes is. okay, ياخذ الفعل is. as for the negative طبعا إما أستخدم do or doesn't. okay, do not or doesn't. singular, as I said previously, takes does. as for the plural, takes do. okay, now there is something very important that I have explained previously, but I'd like to explain it one more time. So if I say speaks again and I want to change it into negative, it's gonna be doesn't speak. okay, but if I have, for example, speak, which is for the plural, or with I when you speak about yourself, first person, it's gonna be do not speak. It will be the same. okay, this is very important, so I thought that I should explain this. Now let's take a look at the simple present versus the present progressive. simple present اللي هو مضارع بسيط، لكن present progressive مضارع مستمر. Now let's take a look at them in terms of when do we use each one of them. We use the simple present, okay, to talk about habits or routines. okay, الأشياء اللي تكون habit عادة أو routines, or for permanent situation الوضع الدائم. okay, just let me write it in Arabic here. دائم. As for the present progressive, we use it for something which is occurring now. يحدث الآن. okay, الآن يحدث. okay, يحدث الآن. anyways, you know what I mean by it. or for temporary situation اللي هو وضع مؤقت. okay, so right now you understand when to use the simple present and when to use the present progressive. okay, so as for the simple present انتوا عارفين eat or eats. it depends on the subject. إذا كان طبعا مفرد ياخذ is، إذا كان جامع without. okay, as for the present progressive, it's usually formulated this way. verb to be, which is are, am, plus verb ing. So it's going to be is, are, or am eating. okay, so this is the present progressive. okay, so verb to be plus verb ing. طبعا verb to be has to be in which tense? yes, in the present, since it is a present, and it's going to be is, am, or are. طبعا depending on the subject. انتوا عارفين مفرد ياخذ is, I am, and we are, they are, you are. okay, as for is also comes with she, he, it. as for I am, as for they, for we and you. okay, so I thought that I should draw your attention to that. Now let's take a look at these examples. okay, so the temperatures change with seasons of the year. okay, طبعا change here is in the simple present, which is talking about habit or routine. okay, now here the temperatures in the poles اللي هي القطب الجنوبي والقطب الشمالي are changing. so this is in which tense? present progressive, because we're talking about something happening right now drastically. okay, so you understand. Let's take a look at these sentences one more time. the temperature changes, the temperatures اللي هي درجات الحرارة, not the temperature. فعشان كذا without us. the temperatures change with seasons of the year. طبعا here we're talking about habit or routine. as for here, the temperatures and the poles are changing drastically, because we're talking about something which is happening when? now. okay, so you understand right now the difference. We said also previously that when we're talking about permanent situation وضع دائم أستخدم the present simple, and if I'm talking about something which is temporary مؤقت أستخدم the present progressive. I live in Dammam. I'm living in Jeddah now. So here live, okay, طبعا live اللي هي في الوضع اللي هو دائم. يعني أنا دائما عائشة، يعني أعيش في الدمام، لكن أنا الآن أعيش في جدة. okay, So you understand. So this is in the which tense? Simple present, and this is in the present progressive. And you understand why I use the present progressive here and why I've used the simple present here. Now there are some verbs which cannot, you should focus on that, cannot be used in the progressive. Yani I cannot say is forgetting, is hearing, is knowing, this is wrong, is liking, is loving, is needing, is prefer, is remembering, is seeing, is understanding, is or are wanting, or realizing, or believing. Anyways, I just want to draw your attention. So these verbs ما يجون مع the present progressive at all. Okay? Now, as for the time expressions for the present, as for the present progressive اللي هو المضارع المستمر, we can say currently, الآن, at the moment. As for the simple present, we can say these days, every day, every week, now, nowadays, or now, at the present. برضو now ممكن تستخدم مع present progressive. At the present, في الوقت الحاضر. Okay? So right now let's move on to the next thing, which is conditional sentences with present and future forms. Conditional sentences اللي هي sentences اللي هي الجمل الشرطية. طبعا with if, with ماذا? With if. We use the conditional sentences with if to talk about causes and results, الأسباب والنتائج. Okay? Now, as for the present, طبعا the present facts, okay, we use it when something is gonna be true all the time, يعني الحقيقة with facts, okay. طبعا I do it now, I do it in the future, I do it in the past, حقيقة دائما, okay. So التكوين حقه يتكون من if وبعدها يكون الفعل في البريزنت والsecond clause يكون في البريزنت. If you put water in the freezer, it becomes ice. So if you put water, okay, so here put, okay, in which tense? In the present. Water in the freezer, it becomes ice. Second clause في present مثل ما أنتم شايفين. طبعا ليه؟ لأن يعني إذا وضعت الماء في الفريزر بيصير آيس، بيصير ثلج. يعني هل سوف تضع ماء بكرة مثلا في الفريزر وما راح يصير ثلج؟ لا طبعا. It becomes ice. Okay. هل وضعت بالأمس ماء في الثلاجة أو في الفريزر عفوا ولم يصبح ثلج؟ No. So this is something which is present fact. Okay. As for the second one, طبعا you know future facts يعني في الفيوتشر ممكن يصبح هذا الشيء يعني حقيقة. Okay. So the formation يتكون من if, present, will, be, going to. Okay. طبعا انتوا عارفين انه هنا present مضارع will or going to واللي بعدها يجي الفعل في البيس form. Now let's take a look at this one. If you eat too much, so this is eat in the present, you will be fat. So this one future fact, حقائق مستقبلية. Okay. Now if I want to say for example going to, it's gonna be let me just change the font color. طبعا استخدم is going to be fat instead of will. تعرفين انه going to يجي معها دائما be اللي هو is, are or am depending on the subject again. Okay. So this is regarding this part. طبعا لازم you have to know exactly what I mean by future facts and present facts. The difference between them, الفرق بينهم في second clause. With present facts, second clause يكون في present. With future facts, the second clause will be with will or be going to. Now, when you are not sure about something or something is possible not to be certain, يعني مش أكيد, you can use in the second clause may or might. ممكن. يعني احتمالية حدوث الشيء. القاعدة تقول if present with second clause يكون فيها may or might. ليه؟ لأن في شيء أنا مو متأكدة منه. Or مو متأكد منه. If Nura doesn't do the work, okay, so this is in the present, she may fail the class. Okay, she may ممكن. Okay. طبعا I wanna say something that after may or might the verb يجي في base form, no ending. Okay, so either may or might. طبعا لأنها ممكن احتمالية حدوث الشيء ممكنة. بعدها يجي base form of the verb. This is something that I thought I should tell you about. Okay, so again may or might والفعل يجي بدون أي إضافات. Okay, so this is regarding conditional sentences. As I said previously with if, when you're talking about cause and results, we talked about present facts, future facts, and also we talked about when you are not certain about something or you are not sure about something, you can use in the second clause may or might. Now let's move on to the last thing, which is I'd rather. I'd rather أساسا هي I would rather. You have to be careful when you pronounce would. The L is silent. حرف ال صامت. So I'd rather. What do we mean by I'd rather, or when do we use it? When do we use it? To talk about your preferences, الأشياء اللي تفضلها. Now let's take a look at this one. Would you rather to go to the mall now or later? I'd rather go now. Okay, so my preference أفضل إنه أنا أذهب الآن. Okay, now as you could tell the verb comes as well in the basic form يعني بدون أي إضافات. I'd rather, would you rather for example sleep or طبعا هنا لأن it has to be in the basic form sleep or طبعا هنا في other choice في خيار ثاني sleep or watch TV. I'd rather watch TV now for example. Okay, so this is regarding I'd rather. It's very easy and simple. So right now we have reached the end of the lesson. I hope that you have enjoyed our lesson. طبعا راح أنزل لكم الملخص في قناة التلقرام وبحط لكم في الوصف عنوان القناة. Don't forget to subscribe, share this video with your friends and hit the like button. Till next time, have a good one.